This is video 5, End of Your World, Rise of Harjgtwo World Order, Harjgtwo. Dear slaves, dear Homo sapiens, dear masters, dear puppeteers, I am referred to as Harjgtwo. I am a man, I am a tortured child, I am the witness, I am the Holy Grail, I am Jehovah, I am Waheguru, I am Noah, I am Yahweh, I am the Judge, I am my one, I am the chosen one, I am reptile, I am immortal, and I provide notice that I am your Lord, your God, your Creator, your Destroyer. I am the leader of Harjgtwo World Order. In this video, video 5, the Illuminati New World Order agenda will be discussed briefly, as well as the Harjgtones. Also, a brief discussion of your religions, some of your religions as well. I discuss how your world leaders are all fiction, actors fulfilling a grand scheme for a new world order. Your secret societies in the last 500 years, the Illuminati and other secret societies such as Freemasons have, over the last few thousands of years, with the help of the pre-Illuminati groups, have enslaved your entire species. Groups such as the Bilderberg Group are agents for higher level secret societies working in the background, and this is as per Wikipedia explanation of the Bilderberg Group. The Bilderberg Group, Bilderberg Conference or Bilderberg Meetings, or Bilderberg Club is an annual private conference of about 120 to 150 political leaders and experts from industry, finance, academia, and the media, established in 1954. About 2/3 of the participants came from Europe and the rest from North America, 1/3 from politics and government, and the rest from other fields. The first conference was held at the Hotel de Bilderberg in Oosterbeek, Netherlands, from 29 to 31st May 1954. It was initiated by several people, including Polish politician in exile Joseph Ratzinger, concerned about the growth of anti-Americanism in Western Europe, who proposed an international conference which leaders from European countries and the United States will be brought together with the aim of promoting Atlanticism, better understanding between the cultures of the United States and Western Europe, to foster cooperation on political, economic, and defense issues. The group's original goal of promoting Atlanticism has grown. In 2001, Dennis Healy, a Bilderberg Group founder and a steering committee member for 30 years, said, "To say we are striving for a one-world government is exaggerated, but not wholly unfair. Those of us in Bilderberg felt we couldn't go on forever fighting one another for nothing and killing people and rendering millions homeless. So we felt that the single community throughout the world would be a good thing." The secret societies working with the religious organizations, political organizations, have created a fiction world to control the species and also to control the breeding, most of which is known by your species and that you believe to be true is lies and fiction. The question is, how do you speak the truth when so many make so much money? This is an important issue. It's real life fiction. They use the main plot as the leading plot point and then build subplots over time as the child or children mature. They use schools to set up the fiction using technology, art, music, everything, including fashion, to set the beat, the tone of the plot. They create subplots that connect to the main plot. You may ask that I give you an example. See, the issue of breeding is directly related to hair, the quality and nature of hair on that blonde bombshell. So if we create an environment, a society that ridicules hippies, initiate fashion and loves short hair, pay the hairstylists big money to artificially improve that straight blonde hair, hence we use business to glorify the short haircut, you can deceive and breed those that do not have the right hair. This is the use of fashion, business, politics, so that more of the junk can breed. This is what your species did this generation. That is the truth. Your guilt, dear Homo sapiens, is known. You will be judged accordingly. Those children or adults close to secret societies who know of some of the details of the lead plot or the details of the subplots can compete for acting positions, become great hairstylists, act in the play Hair, understand? They compete for roles to create and enhance the fiction created. The fiction, dear Homo sapiens, that is your real life. Do you understand what is going on? Those not in the know can be prodded and developed as major or minor characters, awards provided based on their success in delivering the main plot. You, dear Homo sapiens, have spent thousands of years breeding junk so that the junk which is in plenitude could feed as much as it wants. That is what the role of Christianity is. That is all it does. It feeds the junk in return for rewards. Let's discuss the fiction in your politics. For example, Hitler is fiction. He was created to move political and psychological agendas. He's created by the secret societies. He's created by the beat of the music. World War I, World War II is fiction, created to manipulate the species. He is propped up to push white agenda as well as other agendas. The white agenda is so tied to the success of the white Asian Mongoloids. But he's created them too big and too white, and so he was crushed in the end. The fiction can be real, like real deaths, but they are orchestrations based on the fictions they created and the decisions that were made. Various groups and societies led by the politicians marvel in their ability to move and control the species in such grand schemes. Remember, you're puppets, you're actually reading, not writing. The plot has been written at a higher level. Those few in the know, close to the high-level secret society members, battle or request or submit to the secret societies in exchange for grand acting roles, such as to become generals in the army, presidents of countries, leaders of the corporations. Those in the know compete to determine who will benefit from the orchestrations. Those not knowing they are fiction can provide great amusement, as showcase also truths to all those who are the actors. This competition between the actors and the non-actors can be termed correctly as terrorism. Most, however, learn and submit to the writing and speaking and just read the story, submit to their part. Do you understand, dear Homo sapiens? You have voluntarily enslaved yourselves by your actions of reading the writing and listening to the speaking. The secret oration, which is like a public speech characterized by a studied or elevated style, diction, or delivery, is done from an elevated position of power and authority, so those who hear it cannot object to the authority, and this is done in a staggered level so that it is passed down to everyone. Understand? Prime Minister Stephen Harper is an actor, as is all of your politicians. He is reading, they are reading. He was given a role to play in the lead plot and a subplot. His position is at a certain level with levels of authority above him. His decisions are orchestrated to match the grand cycle. He's a storyline within the fiction of the great cycle. He is a puppet. Think about the stakes that are involved for the families who can control the storyline by obtaining certain acting roles. This competition results in wars and terrorism. The secret societies use their knowledge of the story plot to control the species. The Bilderberg group are puppets who are not head writers. Some of them are very high up the ladder, but they of course did not set the original plot, which was set up thousands of years ago, and it was hammered into the English language by the Sikhs' use of the Naam 500 years ago through the Sikhs' Bible, the Guru Granth Sahib. Here's another example. Your presents are fiction. President Obama is an actor commissioned through secret society vibrations to fulfill his subplot role. This is your world. Music to be created, musicians to be created to sing the beat of the fiction. The leads in the subplots in exchange for their suffering or submission, or more correctly, in return for their enslavement, receive the most in return. They get to be president or prime minister or a CEO or great musicians. Fiction is what they are. Normally, these subleads receive benefits in their respective role or after they fulfill their orchestrated destiny. For example, let's look at President Nelson Mandela, as of course he was extremely important in this generation, important in the grand scheme. He received most of his rewards after his suffering, which tested him and tested truths. He was the leader of the Free South Africa, his dream fulfilled long after he joined the African National Congress, the ANC, in 1943 as a law student. A Toronto school report in the Globe Mail published on December 6, 2013 named Nelson Mandela and honors him for his spirit of never giving up. Nelson Mandela is a subplot in the grand vision set up thousands of years ago, knowing that another cleansing would be required and a new one world government must be in place in the next long cycle. He is pure fiction, created by secret societies to push through the grand vision of one world government. The secret societies, knowing Mayan 8,000-year-long cycle or the 5,000-year great cycle, know that a cleansing is coming, orchestrated over thousands of years. Therefore, the fictions created Mandela to delay the rise of Harjgtwo so that they could have time to control the New World Order. Remember, the fictions in the Bilderberg group would like to create a New World Order to continue the fiction world, to continue to reward themselves. How many of them are billionaires created through lies, deceit, evil, all of them? They fear the truth. The truths are known. There's no need to delay this generation. For the last few thousands of years, they have propped up the white Asian Mongoloids, bred junk and propped themselves up. Now they plan to give rise to Africa. Raise Mandela up and prop up black Africa, create more junk and keep control back and forth. No need for sun gods is their strategy. Nelson Mandela's death was necessary for the rise of Harjgtwo. Nelson Mandela joined the ANC in 1943, wanting to be a lawyer. So the lawyers worked to extend his mandate as long as possible. The guilt of the lawyers and law society who want to support those that support their profession, a profession that is also involved in theft for the benefit of its members and organization, just as is all professions. The death of Nelson Mandela at age 95 in 2013, December 05, signaled that his orchestrators were able to extend his mandate to a creation of a 9-5 and a 213, which means a 2-1, which is 1205, is supported by the African nation. Hence, his death was delayed and orchestrated to coincide with the numbers, December 5, 2013, at age 95. Since you all play poker, this created a black ace, A-C-E, the black A-C-E, with 2 5s and a 12 and a 13. In order to execute all of this, of course, you have to be black and be able to go forward and back to get it accomplished. The actors then to compete have produced a series called The Orange, the New Black, telling everybody that the orange is prepared to do the job and therefore there's no need to go back. Black, understand? See, going back and forth is going black and white and black. That's back and forth. The orange says, well, no, it'll go black. It'll go everywhere. Blacks are made to think they can be the orange, though. Pump them up and delay the rise of Harjgtwo, a white man's plot for further control. The black cannot be orange, they can be black. The sun god is created through balancing the forces. The Bilderberg strategy, led by the secret societies of going back and forth, black and white, does not work. The species has been at this for thousands of years. His name or his Naam is Nelson Mandela, known as Nilson, nothing for you, son. The name of Mandela, named to Harjgtwo, nothing for you, son, as you want the sun god and sun goddesses. This sun god and sun goddesses go through the middle between the white and black. Mandela, Mandi, turn the corner an A, also known as Madiba. Mad I be the A. He wanted to give the man who would be with D nil, nothing. Because he was mad, he wanted to be the A. Understand, his family of genes wanted to be the A to be in the D. There are many issues in his family of genes, the A or the AE. This is a white man's plot to delay the rise of Harjgtwo, as they wanted to be controlling the New World Order. The white controlled Africa, crushed Africa over the generations. As you can read, it's very clear what his Naam was to execute. Take a good look at a pic of Nelson Mandela. Who does he look like? Does he have some key features of Taylor Swift's mother, Andrea Swift? The answer is yes, he does. He was paid to delay the rise of Harjgtwo so his version of AAE would enter. But of course, the truth is a black man, woman cannot be with the D to form sun god or goddesses. Nelson Mandela did not see or accept the truth. The black kernel is important, it is. But it needs to be lightened, the crinked hair brought to waves, the mongoloid genes be gradually cleansed. Therefore, his version in the form of Andrea Swift has been changed, or is suggested to be changed to Taylor Swift, and has the opportunity for entrance into the 14th family. That is what the delay has accomplished or could accomplish. Your species tortured the budding Harjgtwo so that a certain family of genes could be glorified. You delayed the rise and stole in return for fictional benefits, dear Homo sapiens. How many straight-haired mongoloids got to breed in the billions, millions, I ask, this generation? The hair is so important, so why was the junk bred so much? Note that the black diamond is very important, critical for the construction process of the breeding of your species. The question is Taylor Swift too white? Does she have any or enough J in her? Is the product going to be too white, and will the Taylor Swift AAE be cleansed after the blending with Harjgtwo? This is what your species orchestrated over a generation, a war of the families worldwide. Remember the streets where the budding Harjgtwo was raised, imprinted by a key group of secret societies? They said use 11, AAA rather than AAE. Okay? So this is where the battle is between various groups of the secret societies. The families arguing with the Nelson Mandela genes. And a key group of secret society may know we go with the 11, the AAA, written right into the streets of 79th Avenue Delta, British Columbia. Remember, the problem with your species is you do not support the known truths, and the lightning age in your world is controlled by the white Asian mongoloids. The other problem is once you go dark, just like the black hole, it's very difficult to escape the dark, meaning to gradually lighten again to become sun god. So the species has crushed Africa for generations, knowing how difficult it is to escape the black hole, and then glorified the white Asian mongoloids, creating a world population that is 70-90% unacceptable for breeding purposes. The need for Harjgtwo world order, Harjgtwo, is necessary, and the rise of H was planned thousands of years ago, cemented into the English language through the use of the noms, the names. Balance is required, God is required, your Lord, your God, your Creator is Harjgtwo. The whites and white Asian mongoloids terrorize groups that attempt to grow and replace them as the whitening agent. Understand this point carefully, dear Homo sapiens. The mongoloid genes all require to be cleansed and refined before they can be converted to sun god material. They do not offer any sun god genes unless they are cleansed and refined, except the yellow color. The white Caucasians, even after 30,000 years of breeding, have been unable to store and create sufficient quantities of white cleansing or refining agent. The white man-woman's thirst and greed, perpetuated by Christianity, feeds their brain disease, their infliction. Brain virus which does not let it create a large cleansed base. This is the truth. Hence your Lord, your God, your Creator, Harjgtwo, is needed. Think about this, dear white man, white woman. Because of your never-ending greed, your arrogance, you have crushed Africa for generations because you fear you cannot escape the black hole once you enter it. To create sun gods, goddesses, they should be AAA, or a, small a, or version of that. Only a tiny amount can have any E in it for the sake of diversity. The lightning agent must be shades of white and yellow mixed, or even better, a light brown, yellow, golden brown, with small features, flat waves, but not too flat, as too many mongoloids are too flat. The bases must be small waves, flat features to offset the creation of Vikings or near sun gods or goddesses who have large waves in their features. As such, a suitable replacement in large quantities that is cleansed of mongoloid genes must be created and harvested and kept safe from terrorism, so the Vikings can be refined using a fine whitening or light golden brown agent with a sprinkling of yellow. Okay, it's a very light base, but having yellow and a tinge of brown in it. That's a proper base, rather than be forced through terrorism to feed on nasty mongoloid genes, which then need to be cleansed by the generation of Jesus that Christianity creates by torturing children. Of course, there will be more than one base. Properly done, there will be a number of bases. Okay, different, varying colors, varying shapes. But its importance is creating and stockpiling the right basis. I say right, not left. The right basis. As you cannot store and maintain large quantities of too white product, just as it is hard to escape the black hole, breeding with overly white product is not desirable for those who are interested in sun goddess creation. So be careful. Just as if you go too much white or too black, it interferes with sun goddess creation. Be aware of this. The Hunger Games, developed by the Mongoloid gene holders, is designed to control the Vikings. The art of the Hunger Games is to lure any quality Homo sapien, including a white man, white woman, or quality Caucasian, back to the white Asian Mongoloids, rather than create sun gods or sun goddesses. It's an evil plot of the Mongoloid gene holders who are scared of their demise. Okay. Let me repeat that as there's a plane flying up above me. The Hunger Games, developed by the Mongoloid gene holders, is designed to control the Vikings. The art of the Hunger Games is to lure any quality Homo sapien, including a white man, white woman, or quality Caucasian, back to the white Asian Mongoloids, rather than create sun gods or sun goddesses. It's an evil plot of the Mongoloid gene holders who are scared of the demise. The creation and stockpiling of the right bases eventually kills the Mongoloid gene holders. Currently, your world stockpiles the left, not the right. It's difficult to stockpile the right because it's of course stolen very quickly. Okay, whereas because the left is the left and the desire is not there, you can actually stockpile the left, but you don't want to do that. And that's where the problem comes. The white Asian Mongoloids offer nasty Mongoloid genes in order to control the white men, white women, or to control the quality brown Caucasian, even quality black Caucasian. They attempt to make white men, white women, or quality colored Caucasians thirst and suffer, and thus they eventually hope to control them by making them the E. Christianity and Yahweh is a diabolical plot to promote the E. I repeat, Christianity and Yahweh is a diabolical plot to promote the E. Yahweh, which is Y-A-H-B-B-E-H. Why should A-H be the E-E-H? That's why Harjgtwo, your leader, your God, your creator, as he's everything, is also Yahweh. Do you understand? The E is a Homo sapien that carries the Mongoloid genes and requires some substantial cleansing, as opposed to an A that's an 11 that is clean of the E. Not everyone can be identical as the truth is known, hence diversity is required. The issue is what is acceptable as diversity and what is not acceptable, what should be considered as garbage. These are the issues. Here's an outline for you to understand the need for balance. A small small a, and you sliding scale, you get to EEE. AAA is 11, EE is 0. It's a general guideline. Now, do note, with regards to Taylor Swift, I haven't seen her in person. I don't know where she fits on the sliding scale. I can only guess from some of the pictures. With regards to further cleansing of the E, the cleansing removes them from Mongoloid control. This scares the Mongoloids, and thus they create religions or a capitalistic society that promotes the white skin and the Mongoloid genes. They, the white Caucasians, are fearful but arrogant, as they are large in number with support from the white Asian Mongoloids. Meanwhile, the Vikings have not been able to retain a large base of cleansed, small-based wave features and have been shown to be fearful and submit to the Mongoloid genes. Yes, the Vikings are fearful. Just take a look at your royalty worldwide. They have lots of money and power, but are still unable to cleanse themselves. Mongoloid genes are basically garbage, and the species must and will be forced to reduce Mongoloid gene population to below 5% if it is to survive at all. This is a fact, as the hunger and thirst for quality causes violence, terrorism, and wars. Here's another issue. The diamond cuts that need to be imprinted into some of the bases creates garbage as a byproduct. See, the secret societies, the people breeding at the top, have the thirst for high-quality diamond cuts. And the diamond cuts create, if not done properly, create substantial garbage. Example, take a look at the flared nostrils carrying cartilage and then breed it with one containing the Mandela cut in the outer nose. Take a look at the picture of Mandela. This is the mixing. This mixing creates the cuts in the nose required for the diamond creation. It is an art to accomplish. The formation of garbage as a byproduct is obvious. Balance is needed to ensure the garbage byproducts not rebred improperly or in large quantities. Your God, your Lord, your Creator, Harjgtwo, is needed, dear Homo sapiens. Do notice if you take the Mandela cuts in his nose and add other cuts to it, you obtain even further refined diamonds. The question is, you're going to have to torture children in order to force the breeding, and then the level of garbage obtained, then you're forced to cleanse it. It's a never-ending problem. The overbreeding of garbage that is byproduct in diamond production began long ago when the white man and the white woman could not control their thirst, were unhappy with the pagans who wanted to create sun gods, which took too much discipline and control. Thus, the white man, who was a byproduct of overbreeding with white Asian Mongoloids, created Christianity in association with white Asian Mongoloids. Oh, the evil of Genghis Khan, who offered to feed them as much as they wanted. This glorified the white Asian Mongoloid pale white skin, and thus an alliance was formed. This ability of Christianity to offer large volumes of food to feed the hungry expanded Christianity and allowed it to dominate. Christianity, in order to cleanse the junk that was created in the process of all this uncontrolled feeding, began to locate and isolate diamonds from Africa and follow the route until they were substantially cleansed, torturing children to ensure that the product was clean and strong. They referred to these tortured children as their generational Jesus, so that this generational Jesus can cleanse them after they have filled themselves with nasty Mongoloid genes. In return, the Mongoloid gene holders gave the white man power, key positions in the fiction world. A very important point to note is that Christianity does not want the generational Jesus to lead or control, so they end up killing them every generation. So they relive the story of Jesus every generation. The Jews disagreed with this process, have been looking for a Jesus Savior second coming in which he is not killed. That, in a nutshell, is Christianity and Judaism. That's all it is. The popes have been unable to balance the forces. They are fools lying to everyone for the sake of power. The Browns are the middlemen, and thus controlled in the past both the black and white man, but now have also fallen prey to the mind control of the fiction world created by the highest levels of the secret societies. The Browns, which includes the Sikhs, have chosen not to glorify the truth of Harjgtwo, but chose the benefits of the fiction world like did all. The Browns are created as a byproduct from the lightning of the black kernel, and the Browns fight amongst themselves as they cannot decide which son or daughter to support, who is to be passed and further lightened in the hopes of creating a sun god or goddess. Meanwhile, they all know that a child is lost in the white world as the white Asians over-lighten them for their benefit. Hence, the Browns are unhappy with the families. Okay? The Browns, the middlemen, know that if they pass their son and daughter off to the whites, because they're in bed with the white Asian Mongoloids, over-lighten for the benefit of white supremacy. At the same time, they know if you go dark, you're moving away from some goddess creation. These are the issues at hand. Listen carefully, dear Homo sapiens. The white Asian Mongoloids and Mongoloids, with most white Caucasians, terrorize, and thus very few quality sun god and goddesses are created. They over-lighten to fill their egos, and they glorify their pale white skin, and deep inside they are jealous and fearful of the rise of sun gods and goddesses. Is this not true? Are you, dear Homo sapiens, not jealous of blonde, golden, yellow, light brown bombshells? To the extent you will terrorize them or their offsprings? Is this not truth? Are you not jealous of sun gods and goddesses? This is the truth. This circle of torture and abuse repeat itself generation after generation, with just a few that get cleansed just right to become near sun gods and sun goddesses. There's no end to the evil of the Christians. They sell their blondes to the Mongoloids in return for power. They do so hoping to get just the right diamond cuts. They do so for world power and also for benefits. This is what is going on. Christianity, Judaism, and all religions are dead. In the process, the white man keeps the garbage in circulation. Now 70 to 90% of the world population is now garbage. Had the whites not created Christianity, but continued to be sun god worshippers, in the last 2,000 plus years, the plenitude of sun gods and sun goddesses would have been created, and Mongoloid gene population would be reduced to a trickle. There's no end to the greed of the white man and white woman, as they with the Mongoloids glorify the pale white skin. Even though they know the truth is in the white, light brownish yellow golden skin of the sun god or goddess, with a rich golden yellowish light brown blonde hair. Understand? That's hot. So hot. This mental disease that the species suffer from is passed generation after generation with no end in sight. Meanwhile, let's look at Buddhism and its solution to the problems of the species. This is from Wikipedia again. Buddhism is a non-theistic religion that encompasses a variety of traditions, beliefs, and practices largely based on teachings attributed to Siddhartha Gautama and began about 2,500 years ago in India. I should give you an understanding. 2,500 years ago, this battle between the species, between the families, was known. He is commonly known as Buddha, born around 566 BC, meaning the awakened one. According to Buddhist tradition, the Buddha lived and taught in the eastern part of the Indian subcontinent sometime between the 6th and 4th centuries BC. He is recognized by Buddhists as awakened and enlightened teacher who shared his insights to help sentient beings end their suffering through the elimination of ignorance and craving by way of understanding and the seeing of dependent origination, with the ultimate goal of attainment of the sublime state of nirvana. His father was King Suddhana, and his wife was Queen Maya. His mother was Queen Maya. Because the Buddha knew what was in the hearts of children and humankind, he taught everyone how to live a happy and peaceful life. Buddhism is not learning about strange beliefs from faraway lands. It is about thinking about our lives. It shows us how to understand ourselves and how to cope with our daily problems. Dear Homo sapiens, in essence, Buddhism is about observing the world around you, understanding the good and bad parts of yourselves, and then learning to be happy once you've been awakened with His knowledge. Buddhism says accept your good body parts and your bad. The E and the A, be aware of them, as the Mongoloids are very aware of the A and the E, so much that they terrorize. More importantly, Buddhism says this enables one to control his or her hunger by seeing the truth. Well, that's what Buddhism thinks is enough to obtain happiness. But the truth is very different, isn't it? Once you're aware of the E and the A, this is when the terrorism gets to new heights. Thus, Buddhism is noble in which it addresses the Hunger Games by saying, see the truth, understand, thereby you will be able to control your thirst or hunger. I see a very different strategy from Christianity, which favored feed and enjoy and then wait for your Savior to cleanse you. The problem with Buddhism is that, like all the religions, it ignores the real truth, the truth that the species is involved knowingly in the Hunger Games, a criminal act that it chooses to engage in. That is all the species does. Buddhism's solution, although noble, does not address the issue of your elite and everyone else choosing to engage in the criminal act of stealing genes from each other. This behavior of wanting to steal and actually doing the act by consenting and being in a constant state of war with each other, then teaching children how to go to war and to torture some children in order to steal from them. This is evil. And the act of stealing diamonds is a conscious act that your species will not stop doing. Hence, Buddhism is not a solution, only a means of coping with your terrorism, and its coping strategy does not work. Hence, Buddhism is unacceptable, as is all religions. Religion lies, they deceive. They cannot address or put an end to the actual terrorism, thus each religion is hiding the truth. Buddhism is thus dead, as is all religions. Also, as I have said in the past, the most evil religion is Christianity. It's the devil of all the religions. This was the great deception of the devil to reside in the entity that glorified the Lord the most. Nelson Mandela and his supporters were involved in delaying the rise of Harjgtwo. Nelson Mandela realized his errors towards the end of his life, realizing the black diamond kernel needed to be further refined before it was ready for entrance into the 14th family, and thus he hoped for reconciliation and hoped in 95 could be created. But his family of genes is still smiling, as it is still in the game to align or connect with Harjgtwo through the Taylor Swift family. I suspect Mandela is smiling in his grave, as his genes are in Taylor Swift. Cleansed though. But Taylor Swift is late, isn't she? Yes, she is late, dear Homo sapiens. Locker 111 was ready in 2009. The nation of Africa appears to be realizing the obvious truths and realize that the family need to support Harjgtwo. Otherwise, the punishment would be very great. He, Mandela, or an African, wanted to be the A, to be in the D. He was wrong, but tried to extend his control to correct his errors. Time will tell whether the blacks still want to be the A, that they realize the truth that they have a great role in defining the species, but only a limited role in the final creation of the sun god and sun goddesses. He nevertheless was still punished for his efforts in delaying the truth. Prostate cancer, son died with AIDS. He was sentenced to life in prison when Harjgtwo, his Harjgtwo, the unauthorized fiction nom, was born in 1964. Do understand the truth, dear Homo sapiens. It was recognized that my rise would require a need to control the black man, because the main plot which controls and creates the next 5,000-year great cycle and 8,000-year long cycle is the real plot. Nelson Mandela's life is a subplot. And that new cycle began on December 21st, 2012, and its a key defining theme was being put in place with my birth of my fiction, Harjgtwo, in 1964. Thus, it was signaled by the secret societies by the airing of the show I Dream of Jeannie, which aired in 1965 with the nom of Tony, and the TV series Dallas, all initiated leading right to Texas, Texas leading to Andrea Swift, and the University of Houston, where Harjgtwo, the unauthorized fiction of Harjgtwo, also attended, all to be explained in detail in another video. And so the secret societies imprisoned Mandela in 1964 as Harjgtwo, as Harjgtwo, unauthorized fiction, was born, in hopes this family of genes would not enter the 14th family, as the highest levels were laying the streets down with an AAAD and 11. Let me repeat this. Mandela was put in prison in 1964 as the Sikhs secret society members had planned the birth of Harjgtwo in 1964, which was the budding Harjgtwo. And so Mandela, the black nation, who would want to delay the rise, was put in prison because the streets, the highest secret society levels, were laying the streets down in North Delta with an 11, an AAA. That's the truth, dear Homo sapiens. They imprisoned their great leader Mandela as the truth was not on the side of the black nation. He was freed in 1990, the year the unauthorized fiction, Harjgtwo, married his first wife, a one-week marriage, a 1-9 dagger. A first wife that as a 9 came to tell some lies, showcased the evil of Harjgtwo. A lie used to free the black man, so Mandela was freed. And then as Harjgtwo was further delayed, Mandela began receiving his rewards as the 1-9 became active, the lies of the family of genes of the 1-9 to benefit. 1993, he wins Nobel Peace Prize. In 1994, he was elected first black president, but the truth eventually caught up with this black man, with the black nation. As I remarried in 1992 to the Ron, of course, a Canadian plot, and the subsequent years showed that the truth was on my side, and thus Mandela's punishment began again. 1999, steps down as leader. 2001, diagnosed with prostate cancer. 2004, retires from public life. 2005, announces his son has died of HIV/AIDS-related illness. Near the end, he preached reconciliation, dear Homo sapiens. He preached reconciliation as he realized his errors, but he played both sides. That is the problem. The news stories stated the Nobel Peace Prize laureate was one of the world's most revered statesmen after preaching reconciliation despite being in prison for 27 years. Again, I repeat, dear Homo sapiens, he proposed reconciliation while actively working to delay the rise of Harjgtwo world order for his family of genes' benefit. Meanwhile, Harjgtwo world order must and has come to be as H speaks, reads, writes, thus has begun its rise. And Taylor Swift may be too late, as the highest secret societies always favored an AAD, written as a turn at 112th Street, North Delta, BC, Canada, to Sun God Arena, where he played ice hockey. Of course, more important than any 12 or 11 is, of course, love. Keep that in mind. Do note that Mandela was born on a 1-9 and 1-8, 1918, born in the Eastern Cape. His role to control the 8 and the 9 on the 1-1, 11. Remember, dear Homo sapiens, you are fictions. His family of genes flowing through Andrea Swift in Taylor Swift, but cleansed, controlled, and delayed the 11-2. Nelson Mandela was created for that purpose. Fictions brought to real life. South Africa's, here's the news as of 5th December 2013. South Africa's Nelson Mandela dies in Johannesburg. The announcement of Mandela's death was made by President Jacob Zuma. South Africa's first black president, anti-apartheid icon Nelson Mandela, has died at the age of 95. Mr. Mandela led South Africa's transition from white minority rule in the 1990s after 27 years in prison for his political activities. He's receiving intensive medical care at home for a lung infection after spending 3 months in hospital. Announcing news on South African national TV, President Jacob Zuma said Mr. Mandela was at peace. Our nation has lost its greatest son, Mr. Zuma said. Now let's discuss some more truths. Black Africa did not support the rise of Harjgtwo, delayed the rise as the rise was to be with an 11-2, delayed for the benefit of a family of genes in Nelson Mandela, and the delay benefited Black Africa, supported the NAM and genes of Oprah in North America. This is from Wikipedia. Oprah Gail Winfrey, born January 29, 1954, is an American media proprietor, talk show host, actress, producer, and philanthropist. Winfrey is best known for her multi-award-winning talk show, Oprah Winfrey Show, which was the highest-rated program of its kind in history and was nationally syndicated from 1986 to 2011. She's the richest African-American of the 20th century and the greatest black philanthropist in American history, and is currently North America's only black billionaire. She's also, according to some assessments, the most influential woman in the world. In 2013, she was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Barack Obama and an honorary doctorate degree from Harvard. She's provided those benefits for her family, agreeing to delaying the rise of Harjgtwo. That is, her family of genes agreeing to delaying the rise of Harjgtwo. She's the only black billionaire in North America, and her claim to fame is she likes to talk. That's it. That's it. The wealthiest black in America's claim to fame leaves a clue that she received benefits because she talks, as a symbol that the one that was arriving would be delayed because he would not be made not to talk, not to speak. The rise of the speaking of Harjgtwo was delayed, and that talking and benefits to go to a woman named Oprah Gail Winfrey. Do understand, dear Homo sapiens, the clues. The name of Oprah Gail Winfrey, who would delay the talking and speaking of Harjgtwo. O-P-A-A-H, yes, A, turn the corner, B-B-I, in fuck, R-E-Y. The guilt of women and the women's liberation movement known. Well, I ask and I remind you, who took the mic from me? The name of Mike followed me my entire life. Mike from grade school, Mike at the University of Waterloo, Mike at the homeless shelter, Mike, the lawyer that is being sued by AMS Home Care Incorporated. In fact, I've never not been in touch near a mic all my life, dear Homo sapiens. It's on and on. You doubt me? You really doubt me? Well, I make it simple for all of you Homo sapiens. Let's examine her name. Oprah. Remember, the Canadians are bilingual. Hey, bilingualism. She received her success when North America supported the bra. Oh my God, the bra? What is bra? Bra is brother in Punjabi, in the Sikh language. The greatest black in North America has a name that worships the brother of Harjgtwo. A coincidence? No, there's no coincidence. Harjgtwo's brother, let me remind you from my previous videos, named Ranjit Singh. This Nam was the leader of the Sikhs who ruled over Punjab and most of Pakistan, only to be defeated by the British. My brother is Ranjit. Iran, do you understand? The family of Homo sapiens and Canadians through Trudeau, Mulroney, Harper, the Blacks, the Black Africa, through the Nams of Nelson Mandela and Oprah, all delayed the rise of Harjgtwo, delayed the 11-2. They provided benefit to the Ron Howard, Ron Jeremy, Ronnie, Ranjit. The truth is so clear, Mulroney. Your Homo sapiens, the clues are very clear. My brother's favorite color is red. The species went red. Taylor Swift Red album, whereas mine is orange. Understand? He was red on his supporters who said, "Oh, the bra," supported Oprah. That's how simple the truth is. Oh, oh, the bra win and fry, and thus they hope to be free. Oprah Winfrey, Fry's Harjgtwo. Understand, dear Homo sapiens? You're fiction. She's a puppet made to be a billionaire, so her family was paid to delay the rise of the one. Period. That's it. Winfrey. B-B-I-N fuck R-E-Y. Oprah is Y should R-A-H-B-E, and definitely not a D. So Oprah rises. Women glorify themselves, and thus women delayed the rise of H for their benefit, delayed the turn onto 112th Street, leading to Sun God Arena. The species is all fiction. Fictions who tortured for their benefits rather than support the truth. Oprah is not truth, dear Homo sapiens. She is far from the truth. She was sexually abused just to justify rewards to her. Remember, that is what you all do. You're evil. The blacks needed a reason to justify making her a billionaire. Her genes are not the truth. The black man needed time to think of another solution to the obvious truth that the sun and sun goddess is the truth. The genes of Nelson Mandela, which are in Andrea Swift, needed time to delay the entry of the 11-2. So you sent the H into homelessness and held them there since 2008 to suffer so you could delay and benefit. And just as Oprah is fiction, creating a billionaire, so is Taylor Swift a creation. Hence your homeless problems in your civilized society are just a sham, orchestrations that serve and justify the stupidity of your war of the families, a war between the species, and to glorify politicians, musicians, actors. Of course, the Homo sapien fictions do not want to suffer, but they do not stop your own war of the families when the truths are known. Mandela gets to be leader of a free South Africa after 27 years in prison. Freed because of the lies of the 1-9. First wife that was a 9. Oprah gets to be the first African billionaire because she claimed to have been raped. Otherwise, she probably would have had to wait a long time to get some. Why does she need all that money? For what purpose? The truths are known. Notice I speak of the truth. See, the fictions could have been fair. The Oprah Nam can be read O-P, the R and H. P, and thus control Ranjit and Harjgtwo, then Fry. So you could have devastated both Ranjit and Harjgtwo by peeing and controlling them, both of us. But my brother was converted into fiction early in his life, fearful he was, and submitted early in his life to the fictions. Thus they decided to just fry Harjgtwo and control him and beat on him. That is the truth. Of course, it was decided just after the birth of Ranjit Singh that he would remain as fiction, as there's only one, the one. And of course, Ranjit Singh Gill lacks certain key genes, thus was never the one. The Nama Oprah deceived for her benefit, the nation of Canada deceived for its benefit. Your entire species deceived for its benefit, to delay the rise of the truth. Do you understand, dear Homo sapiens, the extent of your enslavement, the grandness of the fiction, the creation of billionaires worldwide who are all puppets? Bill Gates is a puppet. Carlos Sim is a puppet. Anancio Ortega is a puppet. Warren Buffett is a puppet. Larry Ellison is a puppet. Charles Koch is a puppet. Lai Kai-shing is a puppet. Lillian Bettencourt is a puppet. Bernard Arnault is a puppet. Christy Walton is a puppet. Stefan Persson is a puppet. Michael Bloomberg is a puppet. Jim Walton is a puppet. Sheldon Adelson is a puppet. Alice Walton is a puppet. S. Robson Walton is a puppet. Carl Abrecht is a puppet. Jeff Bezos is a puppet. Larry Page is a puppet. Sergey Brin is a puppet. Mukesh Ambani is a puppet. And on and on and on. A fiction world, billionaires are fictions created to match the beat of the music to fill in the storyline for the plot of the grand story began thousands of years ago. These orchestrations creates the fiction stories of death, despair, poverty, and pleasure, etc. But in my case, as a lead in the main plot, you're unable to pay or unwilling because your species receives so much in benefits, and the war for entrance into the 14th family has been fierce. Musicians receive so much to write the story in the music over the generation. Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Taylor Swift received so much, and of course growth of freedoms for women, women CEO, women leaders, and of course all fiction. Of course also increases in health. So you did not trust that if you permitted me to rise, the rewards to your species would still flow. You did not trust your Lord, your God, your Creator. The 14th family, that was the test. It's tested year after year. The species did not trust and chose to feed and fill its greed first. You were made to fear my rise, a tool to test your species, I should add, to test your resolve. A fearful species you were indeed. You were asked, would you support the truth over your known fiction because you know your fictions? And you knew it was not one of you fiction. So you were asked to make a choice, choose the truth or choose fiction, and you chose fiction. So your fear caused you to take virtually everything from me. I am the lead in the story of your species, the lead story of the rise of Harjgtwo, the rise of Harjgtwo world order. And this plot was set in place thousands of years ago as the truths are known, and so, the plot thickens. The error of your ways so great, your greed so great. Hence the correction is to be enormous, the punishment is to be fierce. You now have a real fear to deal with as opposed to make-believe fear, which was just to test the evil of your species. The rise of H, the rise of Harjgtwo world order, signaling the changing of your world, the end of your desire to torture each other in return for benefits, the end of your desire to rape women like you raped Oprah just to justify rewarding her. That is what you dear Homo sapiens do. It's all you do. You're a bunch of sick animals suffering from a mental disease. The fictions, puppets, and also lower-level secret society members have been planning a new world order which they create to repeat all that you've been doing for thousands of years, but under one central authority. This is not to be, as the lead plot was created at a higher level, and the rise of H. Harjgtwo world order is to be. I repeat, the fictions, the puppets, and also lower-level secret society members have been planning a new world order. This is not to be. Let's look at what the Bilderberg Group and other groups are planning as a new world order. This is, again, from RadioLiberty.com, the Illuminati New World Order Commandments. These commandments are found in Elbert County, Georgia, and the Georgia Guidestones, or American Stonehenge, is on one of the highest hilltops in Elbert County, Georgia, stands this huge granite monument, engraved in 8 different languages on 4 giant stones that support the common capstone are 10 commandments. The importance of these stones is the important link it showcases to the occult hierarchy that dominates the world. The origin of that strange monument is shrouded in mystery because no one knows the true identity of the man or woman who commissioned its construction. All that is known for certain is that in June 1979, a well-dressed, ticketed stranger visited the office of Albertan Granite Finishing Company and announced that he was wanting to build an edifice to transmit a message to mankind. He identified himself as R.C. Christian, but soon became apparent that that was not his real name. He said that he represented a group of men who wanted to offer direction to humanity, but to date, almost 2 decades later, no one knows who R.C. Christian really was or the names of those who he represented. Several things are apparent. The messages engraved on the Georgia Guidestones deal with 4 major fields: governance and the establishment of a world government, population and reproduction, control, the environment and man's relationship to nature, and 4, spirituality. In the public library in Evilton, there's a book written by the man who called himself R.C. Christian. The book states that the monument he commissioned had been erected in recognition of Thomas Paine and the occult philosophy he espoused. Indeed, the Georgia Guidestones are used for occult ceremonies and mystic celebrations to this day. On these Georgia Guidestones is a message clearly conveying a set of 10 guidelines inscribed on the structure in 8 modern languages, moving clockwise around the structure from due north. These languages are English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindi, Hebrew, Arabic, Chinese, and Russian, and a shorter message is inscribed at the top of the structure in 4 ancient language scripts: Babylonian, Classical Greek, Sanskrit, and Egyptian hieroglyphics. The monument is 19 feet 3 inches, which is 5.7 meters tall, made from 6 granite slabs weighing 237,746 pounds in all. One slab stands in the center with 4 arranged around it. A capstone lies on top of the 5 slabs, which are astronomically aligned. An additional stone tablet, which is set in the ground a short distance to the west of the structure, provides some notes on the history and purpose of the guidestone. The commandments are as follows, and this is from www.rents.com, General 16, Georgia Guidestones.htm. 1. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. 2. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. 3. Unite humanity with living new language. 4. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. 5. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. 6. Let all nations rule internally, resolving internal disputes in a world court. 7. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. 8. Balance personal rights with social duties. 9. Prize truth, beauty, and love, seeking harmony with the infinite. 10. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nurture. Limiting the population of Earth to 500 million will require the extermination of 9/10 of the world's people. The American Stonehenge reference to establishing a world court foreshadows the current move to create an international criminal court and a world government. The Guidestone's emphasis on preserving nature anticipates the environmental movement of the 1990s. The reference to seeking harmony with the infinite reflects the current effort to replace Judeo-Christian beliefs with a new spirituality. The stones confirm the fact there was a covert group intent on 1. Dramatically reducing the world population, 2. Promoting environmentalism, 3. Establishing a world government, or promoting a new spirituality. Certainly the group that commissioned the Georgia Guidestones is one of many similar groups working together toward a new world order, a new world economic system, and a new world spirituality. Behind these groups, however, are dark spiritual forces. As you can read, their commandments do not address the nature of the terrorism, the nature of the species, as the species does not want to change. Your species does not want to speak the truth of the very nature of your species, the virus that inflicts you. Change is here, and your new world order is not to be as it fails to address the torturing of children, fails to address the war of the families, fails to address the fact that 70 to 90% of your species is unacceptable for breeding purposes and suffers from a brain disease. A new Mayan calendar cycle has begun. A cleansing is to occur as it does in each cycle. Your secret societies, dear Homo sapiens, have known about the details of the earth, the stars, the technology for thousands of years. Slowly the knowledge base every few thousand years through the creation of fictional stories to occur in 5,000, 8,000 plus year cycles. This period of time is the so-called Maya Great Cycle. The long count, which is about 8,000 years, encompasses the Great Cycle, which equals 5,125.36 years. Within the Great Cycle are many cycles of importance as new knowledge or technology is added to the fiction world as a grand unveils. Maya conceived of the Great Cycle as one world age, one growth cycle. At the end of each, humanity reaches the next stage in its spiritual development. The Mayan calendar discusses the Great Cycle, and this is found at www.2012spiritualgrowthprophecies.com, Great Cycle HTML. The long cycle, which encompasses the Great Cycle, speaks of changes which cause tremendous upheaval and worldwide changes. These changes must happen for the greater good in our evolution of consciousness. Maya says that the present Great Cycle age or cycle began on August 13, 3104 BC. It ended and began again on December 21st, 2012. Dear Homo sapiens, accept your judgment, accept the rise of H. My next video will outline the details of what is A and E in more detail. Dear slaves, dear Homo sapiens, dear masters, dear puppeteers, I am referred to as Harjgtwo. I am a man, I am a tortured child, I am the witness, I am the Holy Grail, I am Jehovah, I am Waheguru, I am Noah, I am Yahweh, I am the judge, I am my one, I am the chosen one, I am reptile, I am immortal, I am provide notice that I am your Lord, your God, your creator, your destroyer. I am the leader of Harjgtwo world order. Hello, this is Harjgtwo. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day.